Hey everybody. Um, got a diecast unboxing. This one I've been waiting for. Pre-ordered this one a while back. Finally came in from Australia. And show this one off. And this is a Ford Landau, which is the luxury version of the Australian Falcons. They were built from 1973 through 1976, and very, very low production volume. Only 1,385 were built in 3+ years of production. Australia has some really small production numbers. Population-wise, even today, I think they've like 20 million people. And there's more in the greater New York area. If that gives you any indication. They call it as the donut. Everybody lives within about 10 miles of the coast, and the center of the country where the outback is one big giant desert where not many people live at all. So they didn't have the scale of production that we did in the States. Even the Falcon itself, the GTs, were built in extremely small number. Overall, the two-door Falcon coupe bodies, which the Landau is part of, because you had the XA, the XB, the XC, and then the Landau. These two doors, including the 1,385 of the Landau production, there was only 22,067 two-door Falcon coupes made between 1972 and 1978. And to give you a perspective on that, numbers that I found were that the last U.S. Falcon, which was the 70.5, which was based on a Torino post coupe, they were built starting January the 2nd of 1970. Production ran through June 30th of 1970, so 6-month production run. And the numbers that I found told me that there were 26,000 of them made in 6 months versus 22,000 in 6+ years. So it just goes to show you the scope and the scale of the U.S. compared to Australia. This is an Authentic Collectibles model. You may remember the blue one that I did a while back. This is the latest version that they call Tropic Gold, I believe. And this is a sealed model. And I'm going to be very, very careful of that wood ornament. Last time I did a little bit heavy-handed and actually snapped the damn thing off. But these are screwed to the base. I get these Phillips screws out of the way and get this thing out of the foam. We can take a closer look. Yeah, these Landaus were the top line as far as luxury goes, as a personal luxury coupe. Well, in the U.S., it would probably closest thing comparison-wise would have been the Mercury Cougar. In fact, a friend of mine in Florida who's owned two of the three Landaus that I know that have been in the U.S. When we did the show at Carlisle years ago, when he brought it up, we told everybody it was a Canadian Cougar, much to the dismay of the Canadian that we were talking to, because he's like, what? He goes, we don't drive on the right side of the car. I said, many Americans don't understand that there's only a few countries in the world that do drive on the right hand side of the car, Australia being one. But yeah, this is the front end treatment, and you can see the Ford DNA in that styling. I mean, that's got Thunderbird in there, it's got Cougar in there, it's got the Tombstone style grill in the center, which is a Lincoln trademark as well. And then it's got the full width tail lamps, so it would remind you similar of like the Torino GTs had. Now these taillights and the whole front clip were basically taken from the Australian Fairlane, which was their big four-door sedan. And apparently everything just transfers over body line wise. The proportions must be exactly the same from the door to the wheel to the door, because the fenders all fit without any modifications as far as I know. Now the differences are with the Falcon is that here this quarter window would come all the way down to here and back. What they did was, and why the cars came with a vinyl top, partly was to hide the steel plate that they welded over part of the window. From what I was told, the full-size Falcon quarter window is still in the car. They didn't shrink the glass down at all. They just put a plate over it on the outside, vinyl top to hide it. On the inside, there's a trim panel that goes up and covers over it, but the full-size glass is still in there. You can see this rear window shape is very reminiscent of the 70-71 Torino, with the exception that these corners are very deeply curved. You can really see it on the full-size cars, that is really, it's amazing that it's crystal clear the way it was made. There's no distortion in that glass at all. But part of the trim scraped off there. Oh, that's unfortunate, but it's like a foil. So, but yeah, these are sealed models, so the hood, none of the doors open up. It's got, moderate detail on the underside, which isn't bad. I don't know. Let me look in the paperwork. It tells you, it should hopefully tell you which one this is, of however many were made. Okay. Oh, I got the very last one. 432 of 432. That is cool. I never had the last production or the first production, so this is a first for me. That's awesome. Fumble fingers here, but yeah, this will go in the cabinet with the rest of my Falcon models, and I can turn the camera and you'll be able to see some of those. Let me move some stuff out of the way first. Now I can turn the camera so you can actually see. But there's all the Falcons there. XA range on the top shelf, XB range on the second shelf, followed up by the two white and blue white with blue striped cars. On the far right hand side of that second shelf are XE Cobras. Then the third shelf down, those are XAXB sedans. The shelf below that, which is partially blocked, are race cars. Bottom shelf is race cars. On that side over there, the top shelf are my Mad Max collection cars. And then the shelf down is a mixture of different stuff. But yeah, that's it for that. But yeah, that'll do this video. And I should hopefully have another one coming up maybe in a week or so, when some of these other slot cars I have ordered start rolling in, and we'll see what goes on then. But until then, have a good time, stay safe, stay warm, and happy collecting, guys. See ya.